It looks the same. Yes. Guys, this is a inter November 23 quick book. And I don't know if you are able to see, but in 38 pages, this covers the entire syllabus in 38 pages. With of course the first page going just like that. The second page also just introducing all the shortcut that you see, guys, that you have written are all in this one book. Yes. So if we are to do the chapter first, introduction, I do remember such an exercise where, yes, and do you understand Vele? All the shortcut, guys. Do you see these question numbers? These question numbers refer to ICI material. So someone who uses this quick book along with ICI material can do a very, very nice quick revision because guys, ultimately time will be very short in the end. And hence, to do that, we'll be using this quick. Also, we are recording small videos right in class, like we are going to be recording right now. Per chapter, guys, today we are recording one chapter with everyone's participation. So you need your handwritten notes outside. I'm going to be referring here, and we are going to be recording a small chapter revision. This recording will be used by you only in the months of March, April, May when you're short on time. Yes. So everyone, let's try and see how fast. I think it should take about 5 minutes to revise or record one chapter. Let's quickly revise a chapter. Guys, let's do a revision on a chapter which is the first chapter of GST. It's called what, guys? Introduction to GST. It's a very small chapter. The importance is not too much, but a theoretical question can be asked. So watch this video whenever you want to revise the first chapter. Guys, is there DT in India? Is there IDT? Difference, guys. DT is progressive. IDT is DT is progressive because the more you progress, the more you pay tax. IDT, everyone pays it, poor people pay it, so it's regressive. Guys, which is wider base? IDT, because more people pay it, which is a smaller base. Direct tax. And direct tax is on your income, whereas IDT is on your consumption. Good guys. Direct tax, one example. Income tax, GST, one example. Indirect tax, one example, guys. GST. Guys, now you can look at the first question of ICI material. Yes, now has GST subsumed a lot of taxes? Yes. Center's taxes subsumed are shortcut. Sachin, exercise at CST station. First one. Next. Next. And surcharges, which you will know in DT, guys. And next, guys, state taxes subsumed or replaced. Really. First, entertainment, two, three, and now you can do the second and the seventh question here. Next, guys, were there difficulties because of before GST? Yes, and that's the reason we changed it, guys. So, Sachin's different accounts got credited. Guys, states now get a fair share of taxes. Guys, different taxes now have only one. Different taxable events now have cascading effect, guys. That means not short tax. Right? Is there any GST on GST? No. Thankfully, no, guys. Credits are very seamless. Guys, when I purchase something, do I get credits? Very easily, guys. And verification is very simple. You can go down, check in the outside the board, there'll be written GST number. Verification is very, very simple. Now, guys, this composition scheme, there's a whole chapter dedicated to it. So we'll do it in that chapter. Now, 101st Constitution Amendment. Did we have to amend the Constitution? Yes. Yes, guys, we had to. And what is the legal framework of GST? How many acts? Three. One, IGST. One, one, GST, which covers call DD. And call DD, you know the full form, guys. Can you tell me call? C. Andaman, Lakshadweep, Ladakh, and Daman, Diu, Dadra, and Nagar Haveli. And multiple SGSTs, Delhi, Puducherry, and Jammu and Kashmir SGST acts. Right? Do we have a dual system of GST? Because India has what structure? So we have dual means what center? And states both have the power to levy GST. Guys, is GST consumption based? Yeah. Everyone in the chain, guys, gets credit except the last consumer. Are we okay? Do you remember the GST diagram from your handwritten notes? All right. Guys, is there a coding mechanism? Yes. There is a HSN code for goods and ACC for services. Registration, we'll see another chapter. Returns, we'll see another chapter. Guys, to deal better with the GST portal, we have GST, we have reviews and application support for surplus providers. Guys, do we have a GST compensation set? It is basically for 5 years. Has it been extended? Yes. And it's only on which goods, guys? Luxury, silk, and demerit. And the amount, it's a piggy bank. That amount will be used to compensate who? It's in case of any. Guys, I've heard GST is Jain. Is that true? It will never touch alcohol for. For who can they change this? Never. So on alcohol, no taxes. Yes, the older taxes, guys like VAT, like excise, etc. And guys on five products, petrol. At present, guys, is there any GST on that? So on the petrol pump, do you get a GST invoice? But in future, they can notify you. Guys, on tobacco, opium, hemp, tobacco products, we have excise duties as well as. Guys, that's again we will see ahead because the first chapter, some things will come ahead. Guys, in the same state, it's called what? What applies? C and S, and if it's different states. All right. Do we have a GST portal, guys? Yes. We can't open it right now because that will not be asked in the exam. But what is left is a mark. Guys, what is it? A. A. And this is R. Let's see computer. Guys, these five things, of course, you can do many more things, but these five things you can do. Guys, are there constitutional amendments? Earlier, there was an article called how many lists did it have, guys? Three lists. Yeah, three lists. Which are the three lists? State, guys, concurrent list had a problem. They didn't have what? Tax. So they had to put tax in it by introducing a new article called Article 46A, which put GST in the concurrent list. Article 269A mainly speaks about apportioning the wide GST, and there's a GST council headed by whom, guys? Union Finance Minister. But does it have state representatives? For any decision to be passed, center only has states have, and guys, decisions taken by the GST Council are different chapter names. Guys, this is the way we revise. These are the videos you will be watching later on so that your revision happens very, very quickly, guys. And this quick book, all of the current students get free access to it. I'll send you a drive link which has the quick book, which has handwritten notes, but not right now. Once we finish GST. Yes. So great Sunday, guys. Thank you. And see you guys now tomorrow. And we'll continue from there. Thank you. Chapters, and we've revised one chapter called Introduction. It's time to revise one more chapter, guys. This is the quick book. This is for May 24. Just it'll not take too much time. We'll take a very small chapter. We've already revised the first chapter. It's now time to revise chapter number two, which is called. This is being recorded, guys, and this you will be using ahead also. Whenever you want to revise this chapter, today, tomorrow, even one day before the exam, guys, you will be using this video to revise the chapter. Participate as much as you can. Guys, which chapter are we looking at? Value of supply. The importance is 5 on 5, a very practical chapter. And this one will be there in your exams, more or less in May exams. This is asked often. So we need to understand the value because GST is always given as a percentage. Guys, GST is always ad valorem. Do you remember ad valorem? It's always given as a percentage, and hence we need to determine the value of supply. Three sections, guys. First one, Section 15.1. Section 15, because at the age of 15, you realize the value of things. 15.1 says you can take the. That is a price finally agreed upon, guys. And guys, this you can take only when the buyer and seller are on and price is the sole. That means you're not doing any barter, you're not doing any exchange. You went to EBC, bought the bike for 1 lakh rupees. So what is the transaction value, guys? 1 lakh. That's the starting point. Is that right, guys? Which section talks about that? 15.1. We'll talk about related persons later, guys. But 15.2 says, can we add some items? Guys, we can add how many items? Five. Tax, these, item, sale, supply. You can add every tax except. Next, guys, any third party whose liability was it? He was supposed to pay, but who paid, guys? So then in that case, the recipient is giving an indirect benefit to the supplier. So add that also. That is called what? Third party. Next, incident. Tracking, delivery, testing, yes, installation, all that are incidental expenses. Everyone has to participate, guys. No exceptions. Yes, and these incidental charges, if you charge, should be added. Yes. What if you don't charge? Don't add because unless you get some money, the government doesn't want what, guys? GST. So any incidental expenses collected or to be collected. Example, guys, packing, delivery, testing, way, etc. And FOR delivery means Amazon. Guys, FOR means do they deliver to your house? Yes. All right. Next, guys, interest. Guys, can the supplier charge you interest or penalty? And guys, will you add it that also? Yes, because once someone is registered on even on interest, penalty, late fee, etc., there will be what? GST. But in the exam, if they say that the recipient has only paid, guys, this person has only paid 7,000, nothing more. Only then, guys, remember Lay's packet. When you pay 20 rupees for the Lay's packet, is there anything more you pay? No. That means what is included? And how will you separate, guys? You take example 7,000 divide by into, and you will add only that net amount, whichever 6,000 amount, whichever net is that the amount you will add. How do you know it is 18%? You have to buy heart it. Interest rate is what? 18%. And guys, any subsidy which is received other than which subsidy? Government. So Ratan Tata Foundation subsidy will you add? In the exam, the wording says that the price is after subsidy. After means deducted. Guys, remember Zara shirt after discount. So after subsidy means they have minus it. You need to add. Net of subsidy means they have minus. You need to add. Excellent. Now, guys, you can do these questions from ICI material. When you reach here, these are all material references. Now, section 15. Can you deduct the value? Guys, there are two things you can deduct the value. First one, invoices. Anything that is given at the time of supply, if you're not benefiting, the government also doesn't want to benefit, or any post supply discount. That is discount not given today, given after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Is it post supply? Guys, will you agree if ICI reduces your foundation marks, inter marks? No. Unless, guys, this post supply discount is in the nature of take. What is take? The terms are told at the time of supply. The discount is given. And guys, if only if you've taken some excess credit, you have to reverse it. Oh, I'm a student, I don't take credit, then don't reverse. If you've taken credit, you will reverse. Guys, discounts like staggered discount, cash payment discount, early payment discount, turnover discount, any discount, guys, doesn't matter the name. Just check for the terms. If the terms have been agreed, then minus it. If the terms are not agreed, guys, this is a company called Parle G. They are selling biscuits to dealers. They sell the biscuits for 8 rupees. How much, guys? But the Parle G biscuits, something is wrong with it, guys, and they want to reduce it later on. Can they do that? No. But what if it's agreed at the time of supply? Then they can. Guys, here you can do these questions and you can go to the Jan 21 paper and you can do question number 5, which is for how many marks, guys? 4 marks. So this is a very good book to take references. Again, you can go to November 20 paper and you can do 6A for how many marks, guys? 6. Guys, is there a definition of related person? A family and 225 same. This definition is used in at least 3 4 chapters. First, next, family. Next, family will both ways. Next, common control. Oh, officers, directors in the same company. P, the same partnership of employer, employee, and anywhere you control 25% of equity share capital. And what is family, guys? Self, spouse, children, always. Your child is taller than you, still earns more than you. Still, guys, doesn't matter. But your siblings, well, grand, only if they are dependent. Dependent means, of course, financially dependent. Guys, this is the revision video you'll watch. Immediately, you will do as many sums as you can because the gold lies in the sums, guys. The content is only this much. Over to back sums. Watch this video every time you want to revise a chapter called values. Thank you so much, guys. Good night. Thank you. Guys, in the scheme of revisions, we've revised 2 chapters already. And now it's time to revise one more chapter so that we can revise this and use this video later on. The first chapter we revised was which one? Introduction. Then we revised value of supply. And now this, everyone, including the person who's hiding behind the bag, has to revise here. Yes. This chapter is called supply under GST. Guys, is there a definition of goods? Goods includes everything except buying and less. Immobile property, not goods. Money, securities, not goods. So tomorrow, if you buy a share for 1,000 rupees, will you pay GST on that? No. But on the brokerage, yes. Guys, numismatic currency. Do you know collection? If you have old coin, old note, it's not being used right now, so that's not money. Money is only the one you can use. Next, services, everything except yeah, yes. Business is any trade, commerce, or manufacture. There's nothing in this definition. Guys, how many types of supply? We've not seen this. We'll see it in another chapter. But do you know what is taxable supply? Yes. Do you know what is export supply? Do you know what is exempt supply? Exempt is how many ends, guys? Nil. Nil, non-taxable. There is something called. Guys, the first to the government is. Next to the government is. So in the first two, will you get credits? Yes. And the next two, no. Supplier is the one who supplies. Recipient is the one who pays. Supply can be anything as you can sell, you can lease, etc. What are deemed distinct persons? Persons under the same and having different registration. Consideration means any quid pro quo. Means something in guys. Does it have to be always monetary? No. Virat Kohli shooting an ad for Audi. Yes, excellent. Actionable claim means a claim where you can demand some money. Unsecured debt is actionable claim. Lottery, betting, gambling is also actionable claims. Taxable territory, wherever you see this word, it means India. And earlier regime, we had different taxable events. Now we have only one taxable event, which is supply. Is it like the oxygen of GST? If no supply, is the first supply section 7(1)(a), which is the main section which says that supply has two twin conditions B plus C. It should be in the course of and there should be example guys electric bike companies selling bikes. Is it in the course of business? Is there consideration? Yes. Is it supply? And when it's supply, who's smiling guys? But on the other hand, you selling your old mobile phone on OLX. But consideration is there. But business is not there. Yes, you can receive the money from third party also, and we will see this non-compete ahead, guys. So it's not here. Some parts we will be seeing in other chapters. This one and this one we'll be seeing in other chapters. Guys, can you donate to charitable organization? Yeah. If it's a pure donation, then no quid pro quo. But if you put your company's name, etc., then quid pro quo. And guys, any artworks applied to exhibition, no consideration. Guys, we'll be studying this ahead. Now we move to the next one. Guys, if it's supply, whether it's supply of goods or services given with schedule, so it all depends on if the title is being transferred today or in the near future, long future, then it is supply of goods. For example, ETC selling a bike, whether on EMI or not on EMI. But guys, if it's no title transfer, example renting of a bike, then it is supply of guys works contract. What is works contract? Guys, if I don't want to buy this bench, can I ask a carpenter to make it for me? I will give him two things. That's it. Specifications and main material. Guys, next is restaurant will always be, tenancy rights will always be, and sale of undivided share in property will always be service. Guys, building is immovable property. Will it be subject to GST? No. But if you buy construction services, remember that date completion certificate before that. GST after that. Super guys. These are the questions you will do at this stage from ICI material, or you can use our book also, but the numbers will change. This reference is to which questions, guys? ICI. 7(1)B is from Bahar se. Guys, when you get Bahar se services, B is on the left hand side. So whether B is there or therefore basically it's in the course of business or otherwise, will there be GST? Yes. To question number 10 at this point. Next, guys, 7(1)C, which when there is no C, guys, it does not require any C, but it should be in the course of. Guys, this is related to schedule one because you did not even get one related. In related, you add. So if you are supplying free to any related persons, including, will that be GST? Yes. Do you know member family can co? Guys, your parents, grandparents, and siblings only if they are dependent. Alright. But remember, guys, employer giving employee a gift up to how much? Per annum, guys, will not be subject to any GST, even though they are related. Yes. Next, supplying to whom? Next, importing from whom? Right, but this has to be importation from related party. Not be a business, but two conditions. It has to be permanent disposal, guys. What is it? And on which you have taken credit. Phones away, guys. Question number 2 and question number 3 at this one point. And also a question from November 20 paper, 8C. How many marks? You should go to those questions, do it, guys. It will be a great finish. Try and revise it like this. Guys, what is a Del Credit agent, guys? Sorry, the spelling is wrong. Del Credit agent, guys. You are in the demand credit agent. Does he sell your goods? Yes. Does he issue an invoice? Yes. But he also helps you recover. And if the person doesn't pay on time, he will also recover interest, late fee, penalty, which will also be subject to GST. Next, supply schedule 3. Is it a negative list? In this case, guys, is there anything which is taxable? No. Employees getting what? Partners getting what? Senators, constitutional positions. MPs, MLAs salary. On any salary, guys, there is no GST. On movement of trucks, buses, etc. Government position, constitutional positions, no GST. Court fees. Which license? Alcohol license. GST is JET. Actionable claims, no GST except lottery, betting, gambling. And burial services, guys, no GST. Do these questions once you finish this. Next, guys, once you know it is supply, there's a section called section. In section 8, guys, you will only go to this section where the shortcut is multiple one. What do you mean by multiple one? Guys, I'm buying this mic. Is there any composite mix supply? No. But I buy this bike with this mic with this camera both together for one price. Then you will check this. Multiple one means multiple of supply. How many price? One. If it's no problem, means is it naturally bundled? And is there a principal supply? In this case, guys, is it naturally bundled? No. Is there a principal supply? No. So it is called what? And which rate will apply, guys? But if it is naturally bundled and principal supply, then which rate will apply? Principal supply. Example, mobile phone and content and vehicles. Guys, if someone is, I give someone some book to print and he does printing for me, it's supply of service. But he gives the content also and like greeting card and the, then it is a goods. Yes. Anything else? That's it, guys. So you can read this quick book here. This is section 7. This is section 8. Guys, you watch this video, stop this video wherever possible, start doing sums, get back. Or watch this video with your handwritten notes and then back to back do only sums. Thank you so much, guys. Good night. See you tomorrow. Just revision. So I'm also going to go to charge of GST here. Here we go, guys. This is charge of GST chapter. This is my quick book. Everyone, okay, all good, all good, all good. Everyone has to participate. Yes, revising a chapter which is called charge of GST. A really important chapter in the scheme of things. RCM is here, composition scheme is here. So we need to do this really well. I'm using the quick book. You can use your handwritten notes or any books that you have, you can refer. And this is a quick and the quickest revision on the chapter called charge of GST. Guys, if there's an intrastate supply, what applies? GST. In which interstate? Definition of India is not important. Section 9.1 is which mechanism? Government forward charge mechanism. EBC is selling a bike. When they sell a bike, guys, will they charge GST to the customer? And one guy will bear the burden, the other guy will bear the headache. Here is a diagram, guys. EBC, they will charge how much is the bike for? 1 lakh plus how much GST? To whom, guys? Customer who will bear the burden, they will pay EBC and EBC will bear the headache. What is headache, guys? Headache means registering under GST, filing the return, going to a CF, all that is headache. So when both is divided B and H, it is called which mechanism, guys? Forward charge mechanism. Next, 9 to is same forward charge mechanism, but for which products, guys? Five products, which is five petroleum products. Do you remember them? Petrol, diesel, natural gas, oil, and aviation turbine fuel. Guys, 9.3 and 9.4 will come back because that mechanism is reverse charge. But now we are going to something which is here 9.5. Let's go to 9.5 quickly and revise that. 9.5 is what? Taxation on e-commerce. Guys, we use e-commerce all the time. We download apps and we use them. But in case of four e-commerce operators, how many? Four. Housekeeping, taxi, hotel, and restaurant. Let's take an example of Make My Trip. I use Make My Trip to book a Taj hotel. And is this me? So will I pay the burden, guys? Yes. But who will pay the GST to the government, guys? MMT or Taj, there's a confusion, and hence the government said, I don't like confusion. I'm going to nominate one of them. And they have said that e-commerce operators, that is MMT, will be paying the GST to the government. Is that right? In how many services, notified services? Four. Guys, recently they've added restaurants. So my prediction for your exam is that restaurant will be a part of your exam question. But if you order from a small restaurant, no problem, Zomato will pay the GST. But if you order from a restaurant which is in a hotel which has 18% GST, that means the room rates are really expensive, 18% GST, then in that case, guys, who will pay the GST to the government? Not Zomato, not the e-commerce operator, but the restaurant, that hotel. Are we okay with this, guys? Yes. This is e-commerce transactions. This is HCHR. Now, guys, we move to RCM. Everyone remembers RCM? Guys, in RCM, we've learned the entire sentence except this one resident part. We've not done this part because it will come again in exemption chapter, so don't worry about this. I put it up here, so when we revise after the entire portion, you'll have reference. But this resident part, leave it for the next chapter, that is exemption. Guys, some Lawyers, lending, cards, Met, RBI, DIG, good government, and CCD, sponsor, breakfast, reverse, basic charge. In all these, is there a supplier? Yes. Is there a recipient? Is the government wants what? Yes, please. It doesn't care. They don't care whether it's FCM or it's. But RCM was the hero guide. The recipient, he will bear the burden also and the headache, and he will pay the government under which mechanism? RCM. Generally, these guys here are bigger guys. They are already registered. They are big guys. Except one. Remember, partnership firm which is unregistered. Otherwise, mostly all of them are registered. Yes, let's see. The first one, S. Security service. Except the security service provider should not be a company. Good guys. Next, lawyers. Is it under RCM? Yes. Lawyer is similar to criminal service. So we've done criminal also. Next, lending. What are you lending? Then the Motilal Oswal kind of guys pay the GST under which mechanism? Next, car rental, C connection. Supplier, not a company. Recipient, company. And this is car. Car with fuel basically. Next guys, med. Musician, photographer, artist. Under which mechanism? Yeah. Next, overseeing committee. RCM. Who will pay the GST? RBI. Next, D. Director. Guys, director getting other than salary. Why other than salary? Because in salary, there is no GST. So there is no FCM, RCM. So on setting fees, commission, etc., it will be paid by the company under which mechanism? I for what, guys? Insurance agent can be a small housewife. I told you my mom was an insurance agent. In that case, guys, let the recipient, the insurance company, pay the GST under RCM. G. GTA. We'll talk about it in some time. These GG and this G at the end, guys. Next, A. Author. As an author, can the publishing company pay? Under which mechanism? But if you want, can you pay under FCNI? Why would you want to do that? Credit, because when you pay the headache, you can get credits. As in that, you have to basically intimate. You need to be registered and you need to be under this mechanism for 1 year. CCD construction. Are you a construction company? You're buying land. Is there GST? No. But not buying land, buying what? PDI, FSI, and long-term lease. If you're buying that, guys, then in that case, will there be GST? Yes, under which mechanism? PDR, FSI is nothing but your rights you're giving someone else. So my rights of this building, this bungalow, guys, can I give it to Prestige Builders? Yes. On that GST, who will pay? Prestige Builders. Next D, direct selling agent. Just like insurance agent, what does direct selling agent sell? Financial products. And when he sells, he gets commission from Bajaj Mutual Fund, etc. On that commission is there GST. Yes, that RCM recipient will be under which mechanism, guys? RCM. Next, sponsorship. Guys, very big confusion. Who is providing sponsorship services? IPL or Tata? No, guys. Who's providing IPL service, sponsorship services? IPL is providing. Tata is the payer. Tata is what, guys? Payer. And if you are ever confused, ask yourself, guys. Recipient pays. Repeat. Recipient is between Yashas Academy and you. Who's paying? You all are paying, you all are the recipient, guys. Are we okay? So please tell me, IPL providing sponsorship services means who's the supplier and who's the recipient? Tata. The government says Tata if you're a company or partnership firm or LLP, then you will pay under which mechanism? What if this was SRK? Then the government will go on, but under which mechanism? FCM. Are we okay? I sponsorship services have to be done well. Think of a couple of shows, Big Boss if you watch, or KBC, or whatever you watch, think of sponsorship services. Next. Bank facilitator and business correspondent. They provide services to whom? Banks. This is also under which mechanism? RCM and recovery agent is also under which mechanism, right? But only provided to banks, NBFC and financial institution. Now G and G. Guys, first is GTA. GTA means a truck driver. He is providing services. Is it taxable? Under which mechanism? At what rate, guys? Finally, we learn another new rate, which is 5% under RCM. And if this is unregistered proprietorship firm, no problem. Unregistered partnership firm. Yes, remember that's the only exception. So the unregistered partnership firm will have to take registration and then pay the GST. Remember that exception? Yes. But if the GTA wants, can they pay under FCM? But the rate will change to what, guys? 12. But then they'll charge every. Yes, next. Guys, GG, government. Government, guys, is it their duty to give you passport, Aadhaar, driving license? So in that case, the services exempt any GST. But guys, if Government gives a license to Wonderla. Remember that one? Is it taxable? Government is greedy, but also lazy. So they'll tell Wonderla, you pay under which mechanism? RCL. But in three cases, the government gets very active. Right. Excellent. In three cases, they will collect the GST and they will pay to their brothers, who is the GST department. Are you okay? More on this part, etc. Government in exemption part as well. Guys, this is FCM, RCM. This is nine section. Very, very interesting. We move to HSN, you know, guys, coding. HSN is what? SAC is for what? Services. Anyways, that's not the main point. The main point is section 10.1. Guys, do you remember the shoe company? The shoe company was tired because their GST was what rate? 28%. Do you remember they were troubled? So we introduced them to amazing scheme called with scheme guide, where you need to pay GST only on 151%, but there are some steps. First step, you need to be a trader, and restaurant service provider, or manufacturer. I second, step two, you should be small. How small? So not this year, which year? Last year, your aggregate turnover should be up to 1.5. Guys, do you know the definition of aggregate turnover? Everyone, take everything except IIGA. Guys, I'm exporting something. Will I take it? Interstate, will I take it? Intrastate, I'm sending something to Mars. I'm sending petrol, diesel. Will I take everything? Guys, please, yes, yes, and yes, except IIGA. No interest, no inward supply, no GST, and no non-taxable schedule 3. You will not take that. Alright, except that you will take everything. And now, guys, once you're in this scheme, guys, please tell me six things that you cannot do. Casually reading ice cream, studying inter online, income tax because it's same thing. Anyway, you cannot be a CTP or a NRTP. Remember, Delhi exhibition will not have any composition scheme. You cannot be supplying non-taxable. Guys, remember NIL that I can supply notification that, but non-taxable I cannot. I cannot manufacture prohibited goods. Do you remember prohibited goods shortcut? Pita bread, pan masala, tobacco, aerated water, bricks. You cannot manufacture. Trading, that's okay. Next, you cannot supply services, except with services, guys. Marginal service, restaurant service. You cannot supply interstate and you cannot supply online. Guys, perfect. Now here, guys, 1.5 crore is normal. 75 lakh is for which states? Northeastern state, except Assam replaced by Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand has a limit of, other states have a limit of 1.5 crore. Now, guys, once you take up the scheme, what GST you will pay? 151. Can you charge it to your customers? No, you pay out of your own resources. Next is, can you switch to this scheme anytime? Yes, but if you're already registered, can I charge this to my customers? No. So I'll issue them a bill of supply, not a tax. And the biggest negative of this section or scheme is you will not get any credit. Can I get out of the scheme? Yes, you can either get out voluntarily or when you cross one of those turnovers 1.5 or when you do six things or can the GST officer throw you on? Yes. And what are marginals? They are minor services. Are you allowed to do minor services? Yes. What is the limit? Higher of A and B. What is A? What is B? Last year's turnover is 10%, whichever is higher. Perfect, guys. This is that. Now, is the same scheme applicable for 10 to A also? Yes, it is small service provider. This also is applicable for small service providers. First step, you should be a service provider. Second step, your turnover should be up to, but here the rate is how much, guys? Same rate. Otherwise, all provisions remain the same. Are we okay with this? And remember, guys, if my one entity is under compositions, all need to be under composition scheme. Do you remember that? One man, one turnover, one scheme. That means if one I have chosen composition scheme, I would change everyone under composition scheme. Guys, that was the chapter. Everyone, this is some questions that you have to do it. These are all exam questions. These are all module questions. You can stop the video here and then start doing the questions after this. Yes. Great. So that was the revision on charge of GST. Not timed it, but I think about 7 to 10 minutes we've taken to revise that. We'll take a 2 minute breather, guys, and then we'll go to the next chapter, which is registration. That will revise that as well. Yes, some people there, last bench, the yawning marathon, your first bench, full yawn marathon is happening. Yes. Start. Yes. First bench, last bench, everyone has to contribute. Guys, let's do a quick recap on this very big chapter called registration. It has a lot of sections, but watch this video and get yourself better and better every time you want to revise. Guys, what is the chapter's name called? Guys, why would someone want to register under GST? Primarily because you can take credits. But is there a negative of registration also? Yes, it makes things expensive. You go to a restaurant, if they are registered, what will they charge you? GST, but a small stall, on the street, will they charge you GST? No. So that's a pro and a con, but the government doesn't let you choose. They have decided whether you should register or not. So, guys, the first other definition, you can go through the definitions. Some are CA final concepts. Guys, what is NRTP? Non-resident taxing units. What is CTP? Where did you meet both of them? Delhi exhibition. PPOB, principal place of business. APOB, UIN, unique identity number. Aggregate turnover includes everything except IIGN. Prohibited goods, beta credit, agricultural goods, the farmer, and handicraft goods, something made by hand. Guys, benefits of registration, section 24. Is it compulsory registration? Yes. I creation. Everyone, what is I creation? First I. If you are making interstate supplies, but there are how many conditions? One is handicraft, one is service. Otherwise, if you supply interstate goods, guys, you do have to immediately register. Think you don't have to think also immediately register. Next, CTP, NRTP. Where did you meet them? Guys, they have to be registered. They don't have a choice. Next, RCN, recipient. Guys, who does the work in RCN? You have to register because you have to pay. Next, e-commerce operator. Example, Flipkart, as well as seller of. It's not services on e-commerce operator. Next, A. Agent. You are an agent. When do you have to register? When your principal is taxable, that is registered. What if your principal is not registered? Then you decide, check section 22 as well. Next, T, TDS, I, ISD, OIDR, CA, final, and N is notified person. If the government notifies that all doctors have to register, they have to register. There's no option. Yes, people who are just observing, guys, also participate. Everyone has to participate. Next, guys, straight after 24, we move to which section? 22. Guys, 22, it based on what? First, will you calculate the turnover and keep it on the side? Yes. And then, guys, you check whether the threshold. There are three thresholds in GST. Guys, the highest threshold, that is first, is 40 lakhs. This limit only applies if your favorite animal is what? Pigs. Guys, PIGS. Guys, PS should not be manufacturing or trading in prohibited goods. Guys, everything okay? In composition scheme, you could trade, but here no manufacturing, no trading. This is very strict. Next, you should not be doing. You should only be doing in goods, and you should not be in some states which are N, T, me for SAN. We'll see in the end what are the states. Next, guys, if this section or this limit does not apply, only then go next, which is the next one, 10 lakh, which is only if you are in. And if by default both these don't apply, default what is the limit? 24. Guys, more or less you have to check for 40 and 20 because NT Mummy will be easy to spot. Guys, rotten apple, do you remember? If I have four branches, one of them is Tripura, 10 lakh. Are you getting a rotten apple? And if I'm registering on one state, I need to register in all states. Excellent, guys. Aggregate turnover, this definition you already know. Next, guys, one pan, one turnover, one scheme. This is also something that you know. Rotten apple also something that we discussed. You can do this sum right now and then move ahead. Next, guys, registration is required only for those places where you're making. Guys, I have four places of business. All are taxable. Do I have to register? Yes. But fifth, I opened a petrol pump. Do I need to register? No. But it's all no. But still, if you're making non-taxable supplies, don't register there. Next, guys, we move ahead. This is something we'll see ahead in a different chapter. There are some chapters which I have not done because we've only reached chapter number 5. Next, guys, section 23. Does the government give us a benefit? Yes, the following person need not register. Who are these people, guys? Yes. Let's start from the middle. Agriculturists. Next person exclusively making like a doctor, like a hospital, guys. Those guys need not register. Next, guys. RCM this time. Guys, supplier, no burden, no headache. So leave him. No, why register? Next. Handicraft goods. Guys, the shortcut is so recent made that we don't have the shortcut here. Handicraft goods, even if they're supplied through ICE. What is ICE, guys? Even if you supplied them even if it's CTP, even if it's e-com. Guys, interstate, did you mark a star? It is for this. Next, guys, last is services, even if it's supplied through ICE. That means even if services are what, guys? Interstate. Guys, I'm a CA. I don't have to register up to how many lakhs, guys? 20 lakhs. What if I'm doing interstate? Still, what if I'm a CTP? Still, what if I'm an e-commerce operator? Still, guys, this ICE is a very good shortcut. Remember it well. You can now do these questions and this question here as well. Next, guys, 25 we'll do last. 26. Are we all in this together? Yes, हम साथ जाते हैं वो shortcut है. Together is a shortcut in your book. Guys, if you register under one act, you are deemed registered in all acts. And if you get rejected, all. Section 27 is for who, guys? CTP and NRTP. Let's revise CTP casual. You are a person who's registered in one or more states in India, but temporarily want to make supply from another state where you are not. For example, Delhi. And NRTP, someone who's not registered in India but wants to make temporary supplies in India. Guys, do they need compulsory registration? Yes. How many days in advance? 5 days before commencement of business, and they need to pay GST also in advance. And next, guys, is their registration, can they remain in Delhi forever? No, no, it's only a 9 day period you apply 90 days, whichever is lower, maximum 90. And can they extend it? Yes, again by A90. Can again I do it by A90? Only once you can extend. Are we okay with this, guys? And CTP will give span number, but NRTP will give what, guys? PPI. Passport of the foreign person who's coming to India, foreign registration number, and the local. Always self-attested. Next section 28. I have a registration. I want to add an address. Can I do that? I want to change the constitution. Can I do that? I want to change email address. Can I do that? That's all called what, guys? Amendment. There are two types. One is can constitution, address, and PAN number. No. Name. PAN number can never be changed. This will require what, guys? Approve it. You will apply to the government. They will approve it. Only then you can change. And any other thing without any guys. Your PAN number you cannot change. Are we okay with that? Next 29. As in 29, can the officer cancel your registration? And can you also cancel? Yes. When you cancel, it's called what, guys? What is the section 29? Why will you do that? Closure, sale, death, etc. You need to clear all your liabilities and any credit will lapse. Are we okay? Guys, how to do this? We will see in a chapter called IDC. But very dangerous, guys. Can the GST officer cancel it? Why am I saying it's dangerous? Because credit lapse. So, guys, GST officer may cancel registration if can immediately commence 36 frauds, miss ITC 99. This we will do ahead in a chapter called ITC. Right now, can contravening any GST law. Next, I doing invoice without issuing supplies. Next, not commencing business for guys. You are supposed to file your returns. You have not filed them for how many months? 3 periods or 6 periods. Three for composition, six for regular, and if you obtain registration through FMS, fraud misrepresentation was suppressed. Guys, here can he surprise you with cancellation? No. He will issue which notice? No. And he will give you an opportunity of being heard always, guys. Yes. And while your cancellation proceedings are going on, can he suspend your registration? Yes. And while your registration is suspended, you cannot do two things, guys. You cannot make any supply. Basically, you have to shut down your shop, guys. No supplies. And good part is you don't have to file your returns. All right, apply within. Okay, now that your registration is cancelled, guys, will you beg the government to get it back? Because you want what back? Credit. So you will apply for revocation. What do you apply for? Revocation, which is section 30. You need to apply within how many days, guys? Can you extend it? Yes, the GST officer can extend it according to his discretion. And if you they revoke it, you need to correct whatever is wrong within how many days, guys? Example, you have not commenced your business. Right, comments it within how many days? 30. You not find a return. Find it within how many days? 30 days. All right. Guys, lots of it will be done ahead in a different chapter. Guys, how you will pay on cancellation or registration. All this is from a chapter called IDC. Here is where you can do the sum. Jan 21, question number 18, 22. This is revocation. We've already discussed this. Now let's go to the last section here, which is section 25. Guys, 25 says that you have to apply within how many days? If you apply within 30 days, are you liable? And you are proactive. Should you get the earlier effective date? Example, guys, today is what date? 31st August. I'm liable today. I've applied on 10th September. Am I proactive? I got my registration on 21st September. I will effective date is what? So I will get credits from, but I will also have to make liabilities. But I didn't have my number then. have to issue revised invoices. Are you okay with that, guys? We will see that revised invoice in a chapter called invoices. Next, guys, do you have to do state-wise registration in the same state? Optional, is it? Optional. But if you separate all together, all divided. Next, guys, in an SEZ, do I have to take separate registration? Can I voluntarily register? Guys, do you know what a DDP is? Deemed distinct person under the same PAN. If you have different people. Next is PAN mandatory. Yes, except for guys, can the officer suo moto register you? Yes, suo moto means on his own. Either you can accept it or you can appeal against it. And guys, what is UIN? Unique identity. Is it registration? No. But embassies, consulates, UN offices obtain it to take what, guys? Refund. Can you Aadhaar authenticate it? Guys, if you don't Aadhaar authenticate, the number will change from 777 to 37. So what is this 777, guys? When you apply for registration, the officer has to ask you details within how many days? What if he doesn't ask you in 7 days? Team, congratulate yourself, guys. Then you have to reply within how many days? What if you don't? Sad music, guys, cancellation. And last, guys, if he gets it back, the ball is in hit court, he has to either accept or reject it within how many days. If he doesn't do, again, congratulate, deemed acceptance. Guys, you need to update bank details compulsory. No, within how many days? From date of registration as per rule 10A. And guys, if you don't other authenticate, the first days will become how many days, guys? 30 days. GST number is 15 digit, and all that is okay. Guys, registered persons declare which addresses. PPOB and APOB both, and does he have to display it, guys? The number and the certificate he has to display. Guys, here in this chapter, who needs to register is the main heart of the chapter, and cancellation is also really important. Watch this video every time you feel how to register. Remember that chapter. Don't open your books. Watch this video first, then open your handwritten books, and then go to sums. The more sums you do, the better your marks. Thank you, sir. 8:30 sharp. But we are left with two questions. No? बस हो गया. Okay, what we'll do is, I'll tell you what. Question number 13 and 14 are left. We are anyways resuming on 15 September in the evening batch. If try reading them, it's very simple. Both are connected to each other. Yes, try doing them. We'll anyways discuss them when we come back. Yes, and leave space for the 13, 14 question. And when we start, we will do those questions. Yes. Guys, now I'm resuming. Okay, one small announcement, guys. I'm resuming back on 15 September. Yes. So before you close your books, a very important announcement. We will start straight from the sixth chapter. But guys, here it is. I'm resuming on 15 September, which is a Friday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that is the 17th, you have your first GST test. First GST test. There are three GST tests, guys. Whichever chapter we finished on that, I'm going to show you the chapter names also. Guys, everyone, first note down the chapter names on which there is a GST test. Please, everyone, there is a GST test on these chapters. The paper is already ready. Paper. No problem. Guys, these are the chapters. Guys, these are the chapters, please, everyone. Which is the first one? Introduction. Then there is value of supply. Then there is supply. There is charge of GST. There is registration. There is time of supply. Now we've not done time of supply, but I'm resuming on Friday. So Friday and Saturday, we'll be doing time of supply. So Sunday you can give the test for time of supply. Yes. Now, how does this test work, guys? Everyone, please, 2 minutes before you leave. How does the test work? You will be sitting like this, but more spread out in the class only. It will happen during the class hours only, and you'll be writing the test. Once you write the test, guys, you will only correct it. I will not see your marks. I will not check, guys. I don't have the time or the inclination. Yes, the test is so that you push yourself and prepare. The first test happens like that. You will check. You will keep the marks to yourself only, and you will discuss the answers. Second test also happens like that. The third test, which is on the full GST, that we will get checked professionally and you will get your score. I will not put on the notice board, guys. Here are the scale, all that. Nothing, guys. We are at CA Inter, all that doesn't matter. Guys, I will see you now on 15th September. Let's. So, with that kind of attention, let's try and revise this very, very important chapter. There are two chapters linked to each other. So, this video, when you watch, You are basically revising two chapters. Yes, everyone. What is the name of the chapter, guys? ITC. ITC along with payment is going to be your first question number 5 for how many marks? 8 marks. Ultimately, guys, ITC is a good thing. It's a great thing because ITC means whenever you purchase, PC, purchase leads to what? And government says on your purchases, I'll give you credit. It's a great thing because it's like your Paytm money. But guys, there are some conditions. So there are three things you purchase. One is inputs, one is input services, and one is capital goods. Remember inputs like batteries, input services like CA services, and capital goods like your tempo bought by EBC. First, section 16.1 says two conditions. What are the two conditions? PR. P is the purchases should be in relation to your business, even if it's intention for business. Yes, that fire extinguisher, if it's around, guys, where is the intention to use it for business? So, can we take credit? And R is you should be registered. Those are two basic conditions. Next, 16.2. ERGR. Are you buying batteries? Do you want credit? Please show us a document. Document means invoice. We'll ahead see debit notes, credit notes also. Not just you, the debit, the invoice has to be uploaded by whom? The supplier. Guys, what if he doesn't upload it? And what if your friend tells you 5%, 10%? Don't listen, guys. Yes, all right. Next is R. R is received. You will receive the goods only then, or services also only then can you take credit. What if it's received in lots? Last lot. Very smart. Government says only when you receive the last lot. And what if it's bill to ship to? What is bill to ship to? Bill to ship to is I am buying the batteries, but I'm telling the battery supply company to give it to my factory in Chennai. So in that case, guys, if Chennai receives it, assume that I will receive it. Next, what is G? Government is so smart in business, guys. Do you pay immediately? No. But the government says if you purchase something in September, I should get the money in October. I should get it immediately. You can pay whenever you want. So the government wants the tax. But that's not fair for whom, guys? The supplier, because he has to pay the government very soon. So they say, listen, you have to make a pinky promise, mother promise to pay the supplier within how many days? 180. And that is a rule called Rule 37. Guys, 180 days basically means let's say September, so October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March. You have to pay by when? March. If you pay by March, you can take the credit right now. Pay by March, life is good, no problem. But if you break that pinky promise, mother promise, then RI. What is RI? Whatever the credit is. Let's say you bought batteries worth 1 lakh, credit of 12,000. That 12,000 has to be reversed. Reverse means you'll have to put in which ledger? Liability ledger. Along with interest at what rate? 18%. Who takes the interest, guys? Government. You are fighting with the supplier, government takes the cake, guys. Yes, they take 18% interest. From the day you take the credit till the day you pay this interest to the government, the interest will get calculated. And ultimately, guys, what if I pay not in March, April, but in May? Then in May, I can recredit how much amount? 12,000. But what about the interest? Goodbye, Tata, gone. Yes, all right. Next, guys, what is R? Return. Who wants to take credit? EBC. So EBC, you'll have to file your returns on time. Next, guys, if you're buying capital goods, yes, 16.3. Guys, two good movies right now, Jawan and Jailer. Today's Sunday. Can you watch both of them? Yes, of course you can, but not at the same time. So the one they say that if you buy a capital goods like Tempo for 10 lakh rupees GST, how much? 1 lakh 80. Remember, guys, Tempo, how much for? How much GST? You bought this on the 15th of December 2022. Keep this in mind, guys, while you're revising this video also. Then in that case, they say that you can capitalize it, but only up to how much? 10 lakh. But if you take 1.5 lakh, 1.8 lakh where? In the balance sheet. That means you're taking what on it? Depreciation. Then you can't take what, guys? Credit. And where will the smart guy do? Because credit you get immediately, depreciation in parts. So be the smart guy, 16.3. And 16.4 says, guys, is there an expiry? Today on a Sunday, guys, will you eat a pizza? But will you eat a pizza which is 4 years old? No. That's expired. Same way, guys, in GST, guys, once you have to take credit for a particular year, please take it either in the year or in the next year by NA. What is the shortcut, guys? NA. What is NA? There are two dates, A and B. Fixed date is and the next date is annual return filing date N and A, whichever is early. What if you file your return on 5th December? 30th May, 5th October. Oh, 5th October. Yes, whichever is early. And after that day for that year, you will not get credit. That's expired. Are we okay with this, guys? Yes. Next, guys, that is section 16. Rule 37A, we'll see ahead in another chapter. It linked to that chapter. Next, guys, 17.5. Is it block? Some credit, even if it's for business purpose, it is blocked. The first thing the government cancelled a Mercedes plan, guys. Remember the 1 crore Mercedes? Yes. They said it's a van. It's a vessel aircraft and motor vehicle. Motor vehicle is anything which is above 25 cc. This and on that credit is blocked unless on the number plate. What you can see? Yes, God's blessing, mother's blessing, and GST, please. G is what? Goods. If it's for transportation of goods, we'll give it to you. Same line of business here. Means you're selling or you're renting. Both are same line. And what is T? Training of riding the car, etc. And what is P? I said P only applies to motor vehicles if the motor vehicle is more than how many? Guys, what if the exam they say 13? No, more than 13, including driver, excluding driver. If the driver is not there, dangerous car. Right? Yes, so including driver always. Yes, that's 17.5 VAM. Guys, if the main car is allowed, is the repairs allowed GST? Maintenance, leasing, insurance, yes. But if the main car is not allowed, 17.5B, guys. You throw a huge party, food and beverage, beauty treatment, gym membership, club membership, insurance, holiday. The government says sorry, ITC is blocked. Unless SS. Same line of business or statutorily required will give it to you, otherwise you'll not get. Next is C. Guys, you're constructing an amazing immovable property, but the government says this is law. Reason is when you sell this immovable property, no GST. Hence, it is blocked unless you have it PSP. What are you developing? What are you constructing? Plant and machine, including its foundation. You'll get it. S. And last is debit to the P and L account. Yes, you will get in these three cases. Guys, remember, immovable property also includes telecom towers, also includes pipelines. Excellent. D is the same. Same, instead of constructing, you're getting it. Same PSP. What is E? It's a composition scheme. Guys, composition scheme dealers, because you pay us only how much percent? Sorry, will not be able to give you credit. You already knew this. What is F? Yes, foreigners. F is a bad word. Yes, here also F is a bad word, guys. Foreigners. In case of foreigners, NRTP, guys, sorry, will not be able to give you any credit. Guys, unless it's CA final receipt, import will give you credit. Yes. Next, G. Where are you going to go now in some time? Ghar pe. Guys, if you take your supply ghar pe, that means we submit supply, guys. Personal supply, you will not get any GST, but I've already taken it. What is it? Happy. That's you in 15 minutes, guys. Happy? I'm unhappy. That maybe you in half an hour. Yes. So happy means some you've given some gifts, samples, etc. In that case, government says no credit because they don't get any money. And unhappy means if the goods are lost, stolen, destroyed, or obsolete. What is obsolete? In all these cases, the government doesn't get GST, so you don't get what, guys? Credit. Next, guys, I. Guys, have you taken some credit? But the government says you've taken maybe fraudulently, so they can block the credit till they investigate. This is linked to which rule? Let's finish the rule right now only, guys. In 86A, can they restrict your ITC? Yes. Only with the permission, prior approval of the commissioner. Second, they can restrict it for maximum. And guys, in that 1 year, can you apply for the blockage? Yes. The reasons to restrict your ITC could be supplier is non-existent. Recipient is they have made supply without issuing invoice, or they've issued invoice without making, or the government has not got the GST. That is Rule 86A, A for avoid. Now, guys, do you know give and take? I'm making taxable supply. Will I get credit? I'm making export supply. Will I get credit? Guys, export supply, there's no GST, but still the government loves it. Same export supply is equal to SEZ supply. I'm making personal supply and I'm making exempt supply. Exempt is how many ends? Three. Either nil supply I'm making, non-taxable or exempt by notification. I don't get any credit because life is all about give and pay. Next, guys, some things I use common. Guys, that common credit is only at CA final, that is 17 to 17.3. So that's only proportionate CA final. If someone tells you guys rule 42, rule 43, guys block those people. Yes, because we'll meet them at CA final, those people. Next, guys, 17.4. Banks have now an option. They can choose two ways of taking ITC. What is the first way? Proportionate. Yes. What is the second way? BD 50. But why only banks? Because guys, banks, some of their supply is exempt. Like money, interest is exempt. Some of the supplies taxable, like checkbook charges, maintenance charges. So the government says we'll follow BD 50%. For the month, first take the entire credit. That is 1 lakh. Then minus what? Whatever is blocked under 17.5 remove because that you won't give. Next, have you received some services from another branch? Take that 100%, remove it and take it. And balance? Why 50%? We are assuming 50% is for exempt, so we're not giving it. 50% is for tax. And once you take the scheme, it is valid for how long, guys? 1 year. Guys, we celebrate now happy music in the background. Okay, we'll do the happy later. But guys, once you buy an asset, it should be used for how many years? That is 60 months. If you sell it within 5 years or within 60 months, the government says, sorry, why did you do this? We gave you entire credit of how much on the tempo? 1 lakh 80. In which month? So now that you're reversing it, A or B, whichever is higher. Guys, this is sale price into, and this, guys, 1 minute, very carefully. Did you use the asset? But how many quarters did you use it? For example, 4 quarters. How many quarters? Then 4 into 5%. 20% I'll give you, but 80% I will take it back. And this is that balance, guys. This is that 80%. Whichever is, you'll have to pay to the government, means put it in which ledger? Liability ledger. What if I sell after 5 years? Still A will be there. Why A will be there? Because once you're registered, every supply will be GST. And what if you're selling molds, dyes, refractory bricks? Always and always only A. Next, guys, I'm selling my business. I'm amalgamating my business. I'm merging my business, or I'm reorganizing. Sam R. In that case, guys, can I transfer my ITC? Only in these cases you can transfer. In case of merger, based on value of assets. And you will fill up a form, press submit, they will accept it. Your ITC will go to them, but also your liabilities will go to them. Remember? And what if you have a brother in the same state? Can you transfer? Again, based on value of assets. But your brother is in Delhi, you can't transfer. I feel bad about it, but you can't transfer because Karnataka will not give the GST to whom? Delhi. All right. Next, that is 18.3. Guys, now happy music. 4 occasions when you are really happy. Guys, when you are registering. Why are you registering? Liable to register. Superb. Or why are you registering? Voluntary. Why are you registering? Composition scheme is regular scheme and exempt supply and cancel. Guys, what music can you hear in the background? Yes, very happy music. The government is happy. They say from today onwards, your supply will lead to GST. Your purchase will lead to. But from yesterday also, if you have some stock, I'm ready to give you what? Credit as long as the stock is how old? Fresh stock, 1 year old. And on capital goods, the first two guys were not registered, so they'll not get, but the next two. But just like a second-hand iPhone, you won't pay the full price. The government will not give the full GST. They will minus how much percent per quarter? 20. Are we okay with this, guys? Yes. 18.1 and 18.2 said the stock should be fresh. Here also you have to fill up a form. If the ITC is more than 2 lakh, get a CS certificate. And last thing, sad music in the background, guys. 18.4 and 18.5. You're calling the government, that government I'm getting into from regular scheme into which scheme? When I'm getting into taxable supplies becoming the government, say, I don't want to see your face. From today onwards, your supply. No GST, your purchase. And even before you, I gave you some credit, give me back. Whatever is a stock, you'll have to reverse it. Yes, let's say stock is 68,000. Where will that go? In the liability ledger plus whatever asset, that tempo I give you credit. Give it to me back. But will you give 100% back? You will say, government, I use it for 10 months. How many months? So I'll take the credit for 10 months. 50 months I will reverse it in which ledger? Liability. Let's say your total liability is 2 lakh 68. On that day, your credit is 3 lakh 68. Can you pay? What happens to the balance one day? But why can't I carry forward? Because you won't need it. In which scheme are you getting into? Or which is your supply becoming? Exempt. So you won't need it. Unfortunately, you'll have to forego it. What is the word, guys? Rule 44. This is rule 44 and the section is 18.4. That's how you'll remember 4. Actually, the word is lapse. What is the word, guys? And remember, guys, in ITC and payment chapter, lab supply leads to what? So you will get a liability ledger. Yes. Purchase leads to what? You will get a credit ledger, and then you have to pay your liabilities, pay your electricity bill. Guys, last thing, section 49A, section 49B, and rule 88A says, is there an order of utilization of credit? Yes. First, guys, whose money will be used? Parents, that is IGST credit. I'll start using that to pay whom? Myself. That is IGST liability. If I have extra money, guys, do I have to exhaust it? Yes. Before we touch CGST, SGST credit, we have to exhaust this. Which child will be helped? Whoever is more needy. One guy is full, the other guy is needy. The other guy. Both are needy. Both are not needy. Be the good parent, guys. In case both are not needy, give them equal money. And after this is exhausted, what will you use? C and SGST credit helping themselves first. If they have extra money, can they help parents? But if they have extra money, can they help each other? So, which is that GST which can take any credit? IGST, which is that credit which CNS cannot be cross utilized. And this is the section. We'll revise payment afterwards, the ledgers. But more or less, guys, this is a chapter called. All right. Let's start. Everyone, contribute wherever you recollect. Yes. Guys, whenever you register under GST, there are three ledgers which open up, guys. The first ledger, liability ledger. So whenever you supply, it leads to what, guys? Then one more ledger which opens up, credit ledger. Whenever you purchase, it leads to what? Credit. And then there is what? Cash ledger is whenever you deposit money, it's like a bank account, it goes into a cash ledger. Let's talk about liability ledger. Supply leads to what? If the supply is interstate, if the supply is intrastate, yeah, let's see. So there are only three different types of liability. Liability to pay every month. Yes, it's like an electricity bill, guys. Do you have to pay it every month? So if the month is in September, when will you pay the liability? By 20th October. Yes. And how do you pay your liability? First, you will use credit and then you will use cash. Great, guys. I have some liabilities pending of August. Can I directly pay of September? No. There is a order. Repeat. There is a order of discharging a liability. What is the first order, guys? The self assess TIFO. What is it? If what is TIFO, guys? Tax, interest, fees, penalty, others. Very good. Self assess TIFO. This is of which period first? Five. You cannot go ahead before you finish. You cannot finish. You cannot go to enter whether you finish foundation. So finish that first and then move ahead. What is the second one, guys? Self assessed TIFO. These two you will pay. But sometimes, guys, the officer feels you paid 100, but you should have paid 105. So can the GST officer determine? So the GST officer determines there are section called 73 and 74, which you'll see at CA final. This is the order. So first, prior period, next, and last is perfect. That's your first ledger, liability. Second ledger, credit ledger. What is the second ledger? All right, guys. What leads to credit? But do you have some condition? DR, DR, GR, all those conditions have to be met, and you can take the amount to which ledger, guys. Is there any expiry of using it? No expiry to use it. That means, can I use the credit in this month? Next month, next to next month, yes, but there is craft. Do you remember the shortcut? Guys, the credit can only be used to pay tax. Which one, guys? FCM tax. But what about IFO? What about interest, fees, penalty, others, RCM tax? How will you pay that? Everything, guys. So don't worry. If you can't use the credit ledger, you can always use the cash. If you can't go left, you can always go right. So this is the credit ledger. Very simple. And credit ledger should make you happy. It's like your Paytm account. And what is the third ledger which opens up, guys? It's the cash. So this is which ledger, guys? Cash ledger. And in the cash ledger, do you keep money deposited? Just like your bank account? No. Why? Because they don't pay you any interest. So whenever you require, you do what? You deposit in the cash ledger. Guys, there are four major heads. Can you tell me the four major heads, guys? IGST, CGST, S and UTGST, and GFT compensation cess. And under the four major heads, there are five minor heads, guys. Under each of them, guys, there is tax, interest, fees, penalty, other. Now let's go and deposit some money. Guys, let's say I want to deposit IGST tax of 40,000 rupees. How can I deposit that? You tell me the procedure. First, guys, you will fill up a chalan. Now, guys, this chalan, is it a manual chalan? It's a electronic chalan. And are there different chalans? No. Just one chalan. Whatever you need to pay the government, guys, only one chalan. You will fill up the chalan, and the moment you generate the chalan, guys, you will get a T pin. Which number, guys? Common portal identification number, which is how many digits and valid for how many days, right? Perfect. So you don't have to pay immediately. Relax, guys. Go home, have lunch, have two, three lunches, come back, and then you can pay. So that's the challan which you generate. Once you generate the challan, guys, is the money paid already? No. You need to pay IGST. How much tax? How much amount? Now it's the time to pay. And will you feel bad when you pay? Yes. In fact, it's almost like a sin. Because when you pay, you get a challan identification. How many digits, guys? So 14 from here plus how many, guys? Whichever bank you use, that bank's three digits. Are we okay? So this is a SIN number. Now, guys, how can I pay? Can I use cash? Yeah. Check. PD. But those are painful. So they are called OTC. What are they called? Over. And it takes a lot of time. Someone giving you a check versus someone cheaping you. Guys, very, very different. So the government doesn't like this. So they said maximum how much? Per person per tax period, guys, you have only 10,000 limit. So if I want to deposit 40, can I use cash? Can I use 10,000 cash, 10,000 check? No. Overall, guys, what is the limit? 10. But this limit does not apply to G. Does not apply to government, GST officers when they do raids, etc. And GST officers when they sell assets, they confiscate assets and they sell the assets. And guys, what if Reliance want to pay 40,000 crore? Will they take cash? Will Mukesh Ambani carry a suitcase? No. So then, guys, they say you can use any other mechanism like NF, RTGS, Paytm karo, GPay karo, kuch bhi karo. Any electronic mechanism, you can do that. So these are called all what others. Any limit here? No. Why will the government set a limit? The more you pay, the better it is for them. All right. Next, guys, if all of us in this classroom deposit 3,000 with HDFC Bank, different branches, will the government go to each branch and collect money? So the government says that every bank has to nominate one branch. Every bank has to nominate, which is called the electronic focal point branch, where all the different money. Let's say all of us deposit in HDFC different branches, they will all go into New Delhi branch. Yes, when they go there, and then the money will go to whom? Government. That is called electronic. And only when a big transaction, NEFT and RTO should happen, use the big guy, guys, RBI. That guy will act as an electronic focal point branch. Guys, in life, we always make mistakes, and you made a mistake. You had to pay IGST tax, and by mistake, you filled up SGST tax. Or worst, SGST interest. Let's say doing five things, and you were filling up the chalan, and you made a mistake, and you put 40,000 here. Can this be rectified? Your tax advisor is saying that you need to take a refund and then deposit fresh money. So what will you do? You will change the tax advisor. Yes. And then you will do the right thing. What is the right thing, guys? You will fill GST, PMT 09. This is a form which helps you transfer from one head to the other head. So from SGST, can I transfer to IGST? From interest, can I transfer tax? But only in which ledger? Cash. So that's your money. And this is section 4910. Guys, all the three ledgers that we've discussed till now are all under which section? So in the exam, whenever you quote a ledger, just add section 49. And 4910 is only for the transfer. Next, guys, if you pay someone on time, are they happy? Yes. But if you pay, including the government, when you pay late, they will charge what, guys? They will charge interest. Now, the government earlier had two rates of interest. One was 24% was when you were, excessively reducing your liability or increasing. But now the government has changed it to which rate only, guys. So if you're looking for revision amendments, this video will help you do that as well. Most of your amendments are covered in when the lectures only, in the videos only. Yes, so 18% rate. Guys, my September invoice had to be paid by when? So till then, no interest. So interest will start from which date, guys? 21st October. And let's say I paid 10 days late. Will they charge me for 10 days? Yes. Into what rate? What amount? Now that's important. Guys, I had to pay GST of 1 lakh. How much? And I had credit of 60,000, guys. So actually, I will pay in cash how much? So the government says that if you've not filed your return, repeat, if you've not filed means N, so you will use which amount? Which is how much, guys? So now I'll tell you the logic also, guys. Not filed means have you used your credit? If you've not used your credit, you can use it now and you will pay only on what amount, guys? Net. So repeat the shortcut, not filed, net amount. But guys, by chance you filed the September's return and in the month of December you realize the mistake of September. Then you will use which amount, guys? Gross. Are we okay with this, everyone? And guys, this is section 15. Now, only thing is, how do you pay? And we've done this in ITC, so I'm going to keep it very brief. Guys, there are three liabilities: IGST, CGST, and SGST. These are liabilities. How do you create these liabilities? Supply leads to. And there are three credits also. Which are the three credits, guys? IGST, CGST, and SGST. Now, for which credit will you use? Okay, what? And if that is done, guys, will you go to CNS credit? No. You will exhaust this. So second, also you will what use? IGST to help whom? Whoever is needy. Guys, don't be a good parent. Whoever is needy first. What if both are needy? Help both. What if both are not needy? Still, guys, help both and try and finish your liability. Once this is finished, can I go here? Yes. And can I go here? Yes. They will help whom first? Right. It's like the flight. Use your mind mask first and then help others. Yes. And when they've helped themselves, can they help parents also? But who cannot help each other? They cannot. Guys, this is the confusion which we can avoid if you know the shortcut of liability, electricity bill, parents, children, etc. Yes, otherwise it gets very confusing. It's like a diagram which you can't get out of maze. Yes. And whenever you do this, and this will be your first question, guys, compulsory question, you will quote section 49A, section 49B, and rule 88. These are the rules, and this is a section which tells you how to utilize your credit and how to pay your GST. That's a chapter called Payment of GST and euros. People packing, stop packing, guys. Everyone who's packing, stop packing. We'll record otherwise two chapters. Yes. People are packing, stop packing. So tax invoice, debit notes, credit notes, and e-way bills, guys, are is the chapter. Of course, e-way bills is now out. Guys, why out? Yes, in accounts records and e-way bills. So separate. So we need to revise this, guys. Tax invoice, is it needed? Yes. Because it's an indication of supply. When you issue a supply, can you use the printer? Who else can see your smile, guys? Not because there's an indication they will get GST. Also, when you take credit, you need a invoice. So invoice is absolutely essential. Section 21. Is it some due date by when invoice should be issued? We provide the time supply for not revising it again, but main hero is removal and delivery for goods and for services 30 and 45. But 45 for banks, financial NBFCs and insurance companies also raise there. Yes. So 45 days they get to raise an invoice. Guys, please tell me, can you be very busy? If not value supply less than how much? 200. Example, you got a 3 rupee pen, will issue an invoice to you. So no individual invoices, they can issue a consolidated invoice at the end of the day for themselves. But if it's a B2B supply, they have to. If it's exactly 200, they have to. Because below 200, they don't have to raise. Next, composition scheme dealer will issue what? Bill of supplier. Exempt supplier will issue. But you're making taxable and exempt supply, then invoice comes without supply. Can you demand in advance? Can you pay someone pay in advance also, guys? For that, they will have to issue an invoice. Why not invoice? Because supply hasn't happened, so you issue a voucher called receipt voucher. But by chance the supply gets cancelled, guys, will you give it back? Yes, it's called a refund voucher. Next, guys, some person does all the work. Do you remember RCM recipient? Is he bearing the burden? Yes. Is he bearing the headache? Yes. But guys, he does not have an invoice. The lawyer did not raise an invoice because he can't charge GST. So you have to self create or self generate an invoice. And whenever you pay, you'll have to make a payment voucher. And guys, remember, can there be an effective date earlier than the actual date? Yes. If you are liable, and go at LPR, liable active, then you need to issue revised invoices. Guys, today is the 24th September. Can this be your effective date? Then, guys, whenever you get your registration certificate from that day, you have how many days? 30 days to issue revised invoice. Guys, will people accept revised invoices or not? B2C people will hang up, guys. But B2B people, they will accept it of the revised invoices within 30 days. And if they are one person only, then consolidate also. Unless it is interstate more than 250,000. All these invoices are under one section only, which is section 30. 32 is unauthorized collection of expense. Are you supposed to collect when you're not registered? Are you supposed to collect at a higher rate? No. So that's unauthorized. But by the way, guys, if you collect it, who's getting happy? You need to pay. 33 says, guys, can you separate it? Foundation, student, inter, and final? Yes. Same way you need to separate GST amount, GST rate, and value supply in the invoice. If you write one lump sum, that's not right because section 33 does not allow that. Next, section 34. Guys, can you issue debit notes and credit notes? Yes. Guys, mainly you issue invoice, but in relation to that supply, there's some mistake in the quantity or the tax or the value shortcut. QAV. If there's some mistake in the invoice, guys, in the invoice as compared to actual supply, you issue a debit note or a credit note. Whenever the QTV is higher, so you continue by issuing what? Credit note. Or in returns, you will also issue credit. But in credit note, guys, you are happy, but someone's not happy. Because the value goes down, the GST goes down. So they say there is a time limit to issue credit notes for this year, next year's, any. Do you know any guys from various chapters? So I'm not recapping that. And debit note, guys. Debit note has to be issued only when the QTV is. So that means you're doing increase it, and that's dangerous because increasing it also means increasing your GST. So dangerous, but who's happy here? Very smartly, they said no time limit. So time limit only applies to which note? This is section 34. Section 35 is not that, guys. So we go to invoice. Guys, in the invoice, can you put your photo? Yes, why not? Your family house photograph, yes. In different color, your favorite color, orange wall also, yes. You can do anything, but some details are required like GST number, invoice, etc. HSN code, how many digits? If your turnover in last year is more than five is how much? Six. Up to five, can you name the recipient? B2B you should because he wants credit. B2C, it's more than 50,000. Otherwise, not compulsory. And will you serially number it? Yes, maximum 16 digit of unique serial number. You will issue the invoice in triplicate for goods. Customer is king. So you're given the main copy, you'll keep a second copy and the transport. And for services, duplicate. Alright. Guys, now I've heard everything is electronic. Yes, today's even you order your food electronic also. Yes. So and some people watching also electronic Sunday. So e-invoice also one electronic. So we have e-invoice. E-invoice is not taking a photograph and sending it to people. No. E-invoice basically means some registered person for which supplies. Only B2B supplies, they have to go make a normal invoice first. After making a normal invoice, they have to go to the IRP, invoice registration portal, and they will generate an IRN along with a QR code. So they will get an invoice with an IRN, invoice registration number, and a QR code. Now, once that is generated, guys, can they send it everywhere? Yes, this is great, and it's only for B2B. And for those people whose turnover is more than 5 crores, guys, the turnover earlier was different. Now it is what, guys? 5 crores. If you've been having turnover of more than 5 crores since any year since 17, 18, then this applies to you. Is it a good thing? Yes, some people don't apply this. PG taken by boys and girls and SEC. From passenger transport, looks fine. Theater, banks, government, and SEZ units. Let's to develop. They have excellent. And guys, is this a good thing? It is a way to report and reconcile fake errors from the back. Any errors, transcription errors like copying errors will be reduced. Any fake invoices will be reduced. Reconciliation is now easier. As reported in the returns. Yes, when you fill this e-invoice, the details get reported in GSTR 1. And when you fill this, it will also be uploaded in e-wave bills. So it's much easier for e-invoice. So these are the advantages. Guys, predictability is very high for this to come in your exam. And what's a dynamic QR code? QR code is a code to make payments, digital payments, and dynamic QR code which has embedded. So you save 3 seconds of your life. Do you remember that, guys? Yes. This is applicable only in case of B2C and only if the registered person's turnover has been more than 5 years in any year since 17, 18 in any year. Only then this is applicable to you. And this is only B2C. But can other people also apply? Yes. And guys, sometimes you don't issue an invoice, you issue a delivery charge. Especially when you're not making a supply. Example, guys, sending it for an exhibition, delivery challenge, sending it to a job worker. Sitaram was dying. Yes, you saw that, guys, that job worker. So again, which one is delivery challenge? Guys, SKV, CK, did you remember? Completely knockdown, semi knockdown. Are you sending in parts? The first supply will have the invoice. The remaining supplies will have. So this is delivery chalan. This is your video. This is a very boring chapter, very theoretical chapter. Watch this video. Do as many scores. Yes. Although guys, it's done. Exemptions you will get as a small video, but don't worry about that. Focus on what you know. Guys, really, really happy with GST getting completed today. Yes. Nice. Really happy. And more than that, guys, it's completed in. Are we at that chapter, everyone? Yes. Yes, guys, recording a chapter which is a new chapter. Actually, it's a chapter which is always done at CA final. So suddenly we find that CA under ICR has introduced this chapter. So my prediction for May 24 exam, and if someone from November 23 don't look at this, this is only for May 24 exam and onwards. This is a chapter which will find importance in your exam. Yes, for May 24, this is my prediction. If you're watching this video recorded, you know that in a few days or a few months, whenever you're watching this, guys, your this sum will be in the exam. Yes. So with that kind of focus, do this. So TDS, what is the full form? Tax deducted at source. We'll first focus on that. Guys, you are electric bike company and you sell bikes. Suddenly you got an order from a PSU, public sector undertaking, and this order is a big order worth 1 crore rupees, guys. So you are here, EBC, and you got an order from a public sector undertaking, and they said we want bikes. You said okay, and the order value is let's say 1 crore rupees plus GST. They are almost about to pay you the money when they realize that there are 7 people. How many people? Including public sector undertaking, one of them, who have to, whenever they are paying you, they have to deduct TDS and pay to whom? Government at the rate of 2%. Guys, this is a section called section 51. So whenever they are paying you the contract value, what is the contract value here? 1 crore rupees, they will deduct how much? 2% and pay to the government by the 10th of the next month. So out of 1 crore, what is 2%, guys? 2 lakh they will have to pay to the government. How many people? 7 people. Who are the 7 people, guys? Government and LA notified SAT. So if you're selling to government, central and state government, if you're selling to any authority guys or agent, sorry, agency here of the government, if you're giving it to local authority, if you're in Mumbai, Mumbai BMC, if you're in Delhi BMC, if you're in Bangalore BBMP, then the government has notified three people guys. Any government society, any government authority, whether government has 51% or more, or any public sector undertaking, these seven people have to deduct TDS at what rate? 2% and collected and deducted and paid to the government. Guys, this money has to go to the government by which month? Next month, 10. They have to file a return called GSTR 7. Then why did we revise this while we were doing tax invoice or return chapter? Sorry, because I didn't tell you that TDS is now at CA income. So GSTR 7 has to be filed by people who deduct TDS and has to be filed by when? 10. The moment they file that, don't worry guys, this 2 lakh rupees will reflect in EBC's which ledger? Cash ledger. So they will reflect in GSTR 7A. They file GSTR 7, auto popular in GSTR 7A. What if they don't pay on time? Then on that amount till the delay, they have to pay number of days into what rate? 18% interest. Guys, there will be no TDS in two cases. One of them you already know, one of them I'll teach you tomorrow, so you'll revise in the next additional point video. Guys, in case the seven people are selling goods to each other, there is no TDS. Guys, is there a TDS threshold? Yes, the contract value should be more than how much? 2.5 lakhs of taxable supply. How much? If it's exempt, remove it. But this is including GST, excluding. Excluding. Everywhere you exclude GST, here also you exclude GST. So it's pure taxable value, excluding GST should be more than how much, guys? Exact around? No. 2 lakh 40? No. 2 lakh 40 with GST, 2 lakh 60. No. You have to see a taxable value without GST. Now, guys, my contract value is 1 crore. How much is my contract value? Is it above the TDS threshold? But this month I'm only supplying one bike. Will there be TDS? Yes. As long as the main contract is more than 2.5 lakhs, individual supplies, whenever they are made, there will be TDS at what rate, guys? This 2% is IGST. What about the CNS? 1%. Guys, depositing TDS has to be done 7A. And if you don't deposit, there will be interest at what rate, guys? 18%. And that amount, guys, will be reflected in the credit ledger, cash ledger. Sorry. Now, what is section 52, guys? It is TCS. Similar concept, but now, guys, it's different because EBC is now selling their bikes on what website, guys? Flipkart, is that an e-commerce operator? Yes. How many e-commerce operators in India? Many, but shortcut is 8 e-commerce operators. Guys, will Flipkart sell bikes? Let's say they sold 12 bikes. Out of that, 2 came return. How many total bikes? 10. That's the net supplies. What is that? Every month, Flipkart, whenever they pay you, they will have to collect how much percent? 1% and pay to whom? Government. So, yes, there was 2% there, there is 1% here. This is IGST. What if it's CNS? 0.5, 0.5, that is CNS GST. I say they have to pay this money to the government by when? Next month 10 by filing a return called GSTR 8. It will be auto populated in GSTR 8A, and if they don't pay on time, they will have to pay 18. Guys, what is the threshold here? No threshold at all. Every month, every e-commerce operator has to deduct, has to collect 1%. Are we okay, guys? Yes, this is 8 and 8A. But besides this monthly return, they also have to file an annual return. Remember GSTR 9B, B for what? Big e-commerce operators. If they don't file them, there's a penalty. Guys, this TCS will not apply in three cases. Then what is then? If the supply is under RCM, if your supply is exempt, and remember notified HTHR, housekeeping, taxi, hotel, and now restaurant service, guys. In that case, will Flipkart have to pay the GST? So there will be yes e-commerce operator. So hence in that case there will be no TCS. Guys, what if I'm Titan watches and I'm selling on Amazon? Yes, there will be TCS because they are different guys. The e-commerce operator is different and the supplier is different. But what if I'm selling on my own website? Because it has to be different. Remember the pro tip, they have to be different. What if Flipkart purchases guys electric bike companies and then sells? Because now they are own goods, guys. So pro tip in the exam, there will be TCS only when the e-commerce operator is different and the supplier is different. Yes, this is 51 and 52. All right. They have to file a return, etc. It will reflect in which ledger, guys? Electronic. And guys, TDS and TCS purpose, people have to compulsory register. Remember I creation? In I creation, what is T? Yes, TCS. So I did not explain to you then, but now that you know we have this in portion, so TDS and TCS have to be compulsorily registered. And TDS provisions apply even to a composition scheme dealer, something that we'll be discussing tomorrow in the additional points. But this is a video just some differentiating between the two. TDS section 51, TCS section, TDS rate, TCS rate, TDS GSTR 7 here, 8 auto populated, 7 auto populated, 8 both have to pay by the 10, both have 18% interest. One of them files the annual return. How do you remember, guys? Because TDS is all government bodies, there is no annual return there, and TDS applies to how many people? Only 7. Guys, TCS applies to how many e-commerce operator? 8. But actually, every e-commerce operator will be subject to what, guys? TCS. There could be a really nice question on when should be deducted. Remember, there's a question number 9 in your books. Focus on that question and solve that question once again, and you will know. And the exceptions also, you should know. One exception we will discuss in addition. Quick, right? Yeah. All right. So, guys, trying to record a video which is on time of supply. It's a very important chapter. Can be there in the exam for about 4 to 6 marks. Has been asked. Highly probable for an MCQ perspective also and a practical question perspective also. Yes, watch this video whenever you want to revise time of supply. It has a lot of shortcuts, so I hope you participate. And this is a chapter called time of supply. Guys, whenever you see a watch by default, whenever you see the GST watch, the time is always on 12 and 13. This is the first chapter which puts two different sections for goods and for service. Till now, everyone has a common section. Guys, value of supply was section 15, whether it's services or goods. Charge of GST was section 9, whether it's goods or whether it's service. But this is the only one which has two sections, one for goods and one for service. And there is a mirror in the middle, guys, imaginary mirror. I section 12.1 and 13.1 only tell you that listen, please welcome to my house. If you are looking for time of supply of goods, then it's with section 12. And if it's services, then with section, guys. We'll do the same chapter the way you've written your handwritten notes. You can revise with your handwritten notes. Guys, sometimes you need to buy vouchers. Guys, can you buy a voucher? If you buy an Amazon or a Shopper Stop voucher for 4,000 rupees, you always buy how many vouchers? So, guys, do you know that person will buy what product? When will you know what product they'll buy? So, guys, the GST rate will be known only when it's redeemed, and hence date or time of supply it will be the date of redemption. But guys, what if you buy a Titan voucher or what if you buy a McDonald's voucher? Then do you know what is the GST rate on food and watches? Yes. So then it is the date of purchase. This is section 12. 12 when it's coupon for goods and 13 when it's coupon for the services. So is it mirror, guys? Yes. Both of them talk about what, guys? Vouchers. Not very important, but MCQs we don't know. Guys, next is 12, 6 and 13, 6. I have a very important question to ask you guys. EBC, when they sell bikes, can they also charge people interest? Or they can charge late fee or they can charge penalty? Because sometimes people delay the payment. So they may charge, it's not compulsory, they may charge 6,000 rupees. At what rate, guys? 6%. Why? Because the shortcut is 6. So if they charge, they may charge. They can also waive it off. Remember, what if they waive it off? No GST and no time of supply. But if they receive it, guys, whenever they receive it, what is it? Date of receipt will be the time of supply. Guys, can they receive a check? They receive a check today on 20th September. Can they deposit it tomorrow 21st? Which date will you see? 20th. In your books of accounts or bank account, whichever is. It's very simple. This is 12.6 and this is 13.6. Both talk about what? Interest, late fee or penalty. And both cases, what will the time of supply, guys? Date of receipt. That means all time of supply sections we see from whose perspective? Supply. In fact, the entire GST we see from whose perspective? Only when it's RCM we see from residual. So we're done with 12.4, we're done with 13.4, we're done with 12.6, we're also done with 13.6. Now, guys, sometimes there is no detail available when that person made a supply, what happened, etc. Remember my accounts faculty? Yes, I hope he's not watching this video ever. But his house got raided, and you know what happened, guys? In that case, the government says if you don't know any detail, we'll use a residual case. Which case, guys? And in the residual case, guys, it is basically the 5 section 12.5 or 13.5. In that case, if you don't know any detail, tomorrow morning, are you going to pay the GST? So, whenever time of supply is whenever you pay. And by chance, if you don't pay, then it's whenever you file your return. So, guys, this is time of supply till here. Now we go to the next one, guys, which is 12.3 and 13.3. Remember, tobacco was sold to Marlboro. Remember, tobacco being sold to whom, guys? Now, tobacco is under RCM. How do you know? You don't know it because goods RCM is not for your portion, not even CFI. But I'm telling you in the exam, will also tell you there are goods, guys. What are they? Goods under what mechanism? So the moment you see that, you will go to which section for goods? 12. And for RCM, you'll go to which section? 3. And you write the shortcut. Recipient pays in 31 entirely. One more time, guys. Recipient pays in 31 entirely. Now, suddenly, it's not the farmer's perspective, it's Marlboro's perspective because he is what? Recipient. And this is RCM, the entire focus is on him. When has he received the goods? When is he making the in the bank account or books of account? Whichever is earlier. From the invoice, how many days, guys? Remember, some book says after the date of invoice, 30 days. Is it the same? Yes. And if all these three are not available, then only you will look at what, guys? Entry. Marlboro must have made a journal entry. You will look at that date. But that is only when all these three are not available. What if all three are available? Earlier. What if two are available? Which is one available? That one. Only if all three are not available, then you will look at what, guys? That is which section? 12.3 for what, guys? Now let's look at 13.3, guys. We know already some services which are under RCM. Remember lawyer? Some lawyer met. Yes, all those are under RCM. Again, we look at from whose perspective? Same shortcut, guys. Recipient pays in 31 entirely. But here, right, because service, because it is what? You don't know the exact date. Like Yesha's Academy providing you service. Do you know the exact date? No. So remove R. And in 31 becomes, guys, these are only shortcuts for you to use in the rough work in the exam. So you will use which date? Whenever the recipient is making the payment or invoice, how many days from that? Some books also write after the invoice, how many days? 60. And both these are not available, then you will look at what, guide. So entry is like the 12th man, which you will use only in last resort. Guys, what if both the dates are there earlier? What if one is there? What if both are not there? That is section 13.3. But guys, in some rare cases, you shop at your uncle's shop. Do you remember shopping at your uncle's shop? Will your uncle give you an invoice necessarily? No. So guys, if you are getting Bahar se services, from where, guys? Guys, is it taxable? Yes. 7(1)(b) says there will be what? GST as long as you are paying something. In that, who will pay? The guy in India will pay under which mechanism? So 13.3, guys, recipient pays in 31 entirely. What do you remove? This becomes what? But if Bahar say you're getting it from a related party, that is your uncle, whom we call what, guys? Associate enterprise, then he might not issue an invoice. So whether he issues an invoice or doesn't, you have to ignore invoice. You have to only look at what? But payment is feeling alone, so we also look at entry, whichever is available. So now entry, will it come inside? Yes. All right. And we move to the last one, guys, which is 12.2 and 13.2. Guys, this is FCM. Yes. 12.2 is when there are goods supplied under what, guys? FCM. Example, EBC selling bikes is 12.2. Now in 12.2, we have to only look at three things. I, demand, payment. So we have to see invoice date or due date of invoice. Guys, is there a due date of invoice? Yes. Whenever the goods are removed or delivered. For sale on approval, not when they are removed, when they are approved. Guys, there are some exceptions. You know that. I'm not discussing that because that will come in a chapter called invoice. So either the invoice date or due date of invoice or which date, guys? Payment date. But remember, guys, if there is any advance payment, if there is any, it has to be ignored as the notification number. So only in this section I'm highlighting, guys, only in 12.2 you have to ignore which payment advance. You don't have to consider. But I'm giving you a pro tip. Even later payment has to be ignored. Why? Because it is earlier of the three. So if this payment, if this is August, this is September, this is October, will it automatically be ignored? Yes. So this is I demand what, guys? Payment. And the last section which remains here is what, guys? 13.2, which is services under FCA. Here, guys, there are two steps. Step one, step two. Step one, you have to see whether the invoice, whether the has been issued on time or has the invoice been issued late. But what is this invoice on time or late? I'll tell you, guys. The GST law says that once you provide services, you have to issue the invoice within how many days? But for banks, insurance, telecom, 45. If you issue on time, will we respect the invoice? Yes. And the shortcut is AIP, invoice date or payment date, whichever is. So here, do we ignore advance payment? No. Guys, nowhere we ignore advance payment. If you are receiving money in advance, the government also wants GST. And if it's late, if the invoice is beyond how many days, 30 days or beyond how many days, then it is PP, provision date, payment date, whichever is earlier. I'm telling you in the exam, they want to trick you. They will give you telecom company and they'll give you 40 days. Are they on time? Yes, because telecom company gets how many days? They will give you insurance company 42 days. Are they on time? Yes. So be careful because some companies get how many days? 30. And guys, sometimes my Geo bill is 960 rupees. How much, guys? But I paid Geo 1000 rupees. So how much have I paid Geo extra? 30 rupees extra. The government says, listen, Geo, up to 1000 extra. Up to how much? For payment up to 1000 extra, you have a choice. Either pay the beyond the GS. You have a choice whether you pay with this bill or you pay with next bill. No problem. Guys, remember this. This is a chapter. In the exam, when you see time of supply, don't start reading it. Step number one, figure it is goods or service. If it's goods, section. If it's service, section 30. Stop there. Then check if it's FCM or if it's FCM, 2. If it's RCM, if it's voucher, if it's interest, 6. Plug that, write the shortcut in the rough four, guys, and fetch the fill in the blanks and get your answer. It is one of the easiest chapters if you know the shortcuts.